Testing, testing, testing. Oh, I think we are going live now. What is happening? Every single person right here. This is Ilex Wilder. Good morning. It's time for another pre-drop market watch where we take a quick 30-minute, half an hour break from everything at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's 30 minutes, that's 2 hours before the drop date. So we can just kind of look at the different things happening in the market. We're going live, we're streaming, we're having a lot of fun. What else can I talk about before we get right in? Nothing. Let's do it. So obviously, everybody is focused on today's drop to a small degree. I mean, it doesn't like infuse like crazy excitement had this been like a Black Panther figurine, but it's probably still too early for the figurines at the moment. So they posted this yesterday just saying, hey, get a closer look at the rare and ultra rare covers by Mark Torino. And I think the reason for this is that these are Veve exclusive covers. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that I am, but I don't recall there being this cover back in the day. The reason for that is that there was no real focus on Okoye as a character before the movies. Okoye is nobody's favorite character prior to the Black Panther movie. Now she is some people's favorite character. So it's really interesting to be like, yo, this is her first appearance in a comic book. So if she should happen to become a huge character in the future, you know, this is not a bad one to grab. That said, the secret rare and the ultra rare, the rare and the ultra rare, because I don't think this is the secret rare. Yeah, the rare and the ultra rare tend to be a little bit more on the pricey side, but if you're able to get it in the drop, props to you. I'm just hoping to get a common, to be honest. I love this book. I had a lot of fun with it. The artwork just felt more like real, like when you want to start reading something that feels a little bit more adult. But I'm not going to get too much into my history with the comic because I've already made 2 videos about that, which are on my channel. Let me do this. I'm going to post the card at the top. You can watch the first one right here. Let's kind of keep going. So let's jump into the actual comic drop that's happening in a couple hours right now. We have the Black Panther comic, which we've kind of looked through in depth. Came out in 1998. It's part of the Marvel Knights line. Let's look at the covers. This is your classic Black Panther. Scoot this guy over. Classic Black Panther cover. You have the nice painted look. You have the writing by Priest. Uncommon. I'm on record of saying that I'm not a fan of the black and white covers that they make where they just kind of pull some color out and stuff. They see like covers of necessity rather than of artistic choices. It doesn't mean they're not valuable. I just personally am not a fan of, we got to make sure that we have it to have it. I'd much rather them be like, okay, what covers can we create? But I get it. Budget, schedule, time crunch, all of that stuff. I mean, they still look good. So the rare looks good. It just has the black and white and stuff like that. But obviously, if you can afford it and you care about the aesthetic, some people don't. Some people are only about the rarity number, mint number, release date. Is this the first appearance, first edition? Or collector's edition, and that's all they care about. Oh, don't forget, I've got my coffee. That's what we do here on the pre-drop market watch, where we're sipping coffee, we're having a whole lot of fun. Now, this is one of those things where I'm eventually gonna have to get used to some sort of kind of like live chatting. Thankfully. I'm still real new, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's kind of keep it going. This is the secret rare. This is an actual panel from the comic. That is the Black Panther. I personally think that they made sure that he didn't have this look because he comes across too much like Shaft, too suave, too cool, too much like a pimp, too much like not the type of hero that we want to present to young people, where he's very much in charge in this. He's very much unquestionable. He's very much like solidified in who he is, and you can just look at him and feel power coming off of him, and that humble, non-noble, you don't feel struggle. With Black Panther, you feel protected with this version. And yeah, he has challenges, but it was a different era for him. It's like when Captain America really became Captain America after being the number one in the comics for so long. You never really were like, oh, I hope he can get a date. Like, you were more like, okay, I hope that the mission that he goes on next is fun and action packed and like all that good stuff. But just looking at this, the secret rare, it's a cool cover. It's from the panels, which means it's not like a special variant or anything like that, like the Okoye one, which is really, really great artwork too. I like that a lot. But it's still cool. So if you happen to grab a secret rare, good for you. If you guys are still able to get like drops, good for you. That's always really, really cool. Let's scroll down a little bit more. See, I got to go this way. First appearance of Okoye and Dora Milaje. Dora was the one that was in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think. The one that knows kind of like Bucky Barnes and stuff like that. Let's keep reading. Not about the show, but let's get into the actual details. Okay, so the drop date is today. List price $6.99. Published in 1998, 5 variants, 30,000 total editions. So we have our classic breakdown. Classic cover, 21,000. Vintage variant, 5,000. Hero variant, 2,350. Vibranium variant, 1,050. Secret rare, True Believer variant. Now, let's say we're just looking at it strictly by the numbers. It almost always a humongous like value increase to buy the uncommon. Now, I talk a lot of noise about the black and whites, but if I'm just about not the black and whites, the grayed out, grayscale versions of the comics, but the number size, it's like about a fourth of the amount of total comics, and the price tends to be almost around the same as the common. So you're getting a rare comic. You can probably get a lower mint number because most people are focusing on the commons. So should comic books happen and that rarity really matters, the uncommons, they're going to see a big gain. The second biggest gap is always between the ultra rare and the secret rare. Someone was talking about it in the spaces yesterday, and I really wish I had their name. It was one of those things. No. It was a video I was listening to. But it was something that he pointed out where the decrease from the secret rare to the ultra rare in terms of price is almost kind of ridiculous. Where I'm going to find his video and I'm going to post it in the description for sure, because it was a great breakdown and it's like right at the beginning of the video. But he said that you'll have like a secret rare and it'll be like 10,000, and then you jump down to the ultra rare and it'll be like 900. You have a secret rare that's like 5,000, and then you'll go to the ultra rare and it'll be like 190. So ultra rares, you can get a very low rarity rating for probably under 200 to 250, depending on what you get. The more expensive ones, you're going to pay about 1,000, as opposed to the 5,000 or the 10,000 or the 15,000 for the secret rare, whatever you're getting. But I love that breakdown because it gives you a little bit of perspective of like what happens when everyone wants to rent the secret rare. There's only 600 and there's only 50 available for rent. Now they go down to the ultra rare. What happens is there's no more secret rares to purchase. Well, the price on the ultra rare is going to shoot up, and it's not something that I ever thought about, but now I'm thinking about. I have a few good uncommons and rares, and I only have one ultra rare comic So I think that might be one of my focuses here pretty soon, because I don't think we're at the point where people are going to be really looking at those and it's going to shoot up yet. But that might be a good avenue to really see some good return by having like multiple ultra rares of a certain type of comic. I just got to get to that next tier. So let's kind of keep going. Yeah, don't forget that when with the market itself, right? With comic book delivery on drop day, after the drops happen and the markets open up, everybody doesn't then have their comic book yet. It takes them a while, and usually they don't all flood to the market for another couple hours later, 12:30 my time, 1 o'clock, and then you'll start to see the market do some things. Now, for you early flippers, and this is not financial advice, by the way. I'm not an in the moment day trader of Veve assets yet. I want to get a little bit more of a stable vault first, but a lot of people will get in when the price first hits, because a lot of times that price will go up if you can get one early enough. Some people grab an uncommon, they grab the secret rares, they sit back, they wait, price shoots up. Once it starts spiking, people start FOMOing, make themselves like 80, 90 gems, and then they sell at the top, then they wait for 2 weeks for it to come back down, then they buy it and they buy back in. Now, you can't do that with everything. Some people were caught holding the bag with the Killer Croc because the pump went up so high, like ridiculously high, and now it's like what, $800 or something like that. And I think that was an artificial rise in price just to make some money. And if you were trying to day trade that one, you probably got left behind because a lot of people were pushing that price upward. So let's move off of the drop, because this is one of those, it's pre-drop market watch. That's what I kind of want to do, but I want to talk a little bit about a Marvel rumor. But before I do that, do me the huge favor of supporting the, actually, you know what? Let's do a clean transition. Hey guys. This is I Looks Wilder with Wilder. Thank you so much for watching the show. Before we get into this next rumor that's going on in the Marvel world, which I think is going to relate to Veve, it's one that we've all been buzzing and talking about, do me a favor and support the show. You can support the show right now by going to, whoops, technical difficulties. Here we go. Ready? Take two. Go. You can support the show right now by getting your own Wild with Wilder t-shirt. We have it right here on the website, the Refined Otaku shop in the Etsy store. You can see the link in most or all of my videos, where it's some random fun anime merch, some great crypto sweat t-shirts, and some cool bathing suits, because you know summer is coming, and if you're an anime fan or you just like kind of fun wild prints, get all of the swimsuits for 10% off right now. Get one for your loved ones, for your friends, fun anime dresses, and some other things. Had a great time working with some cool artists. I did some of the design work myself, but I'm not going to take all the credit. So we are the Refined Otaku shop. Make sure that you get your Wild with Wilder t-shirt if you just want to support us, or you can get something else on the entire platform. Enter the code name Wilder, WILDER, for 10% off of your purchase. So let's keep things going. Now, this is the worst kept secret in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're trying to make a Fantastic Four movie. They want to make a Fantastic Four movie. It's a property that they've gotten back, and it's such a big thing for a lot of reasons, because the Fantastic Four is a franchise that has suffered from 1, 2, 3, 4, if you count the really old one, terrible movies. But at least the old one understood who the Fantastic Four were. So this particular rumor mill is they keep posting pictures of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. And even if you look at this image, you could see how John Krasinski can be a perfect match for this version of Reed Richards. This may even be an artist rendition of, oh, I want my Mr. Fantastic to be like John Krasinski. You never know. I think that this is one of those things that could be very, 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 very cool. I don't want to get into too much of the rumors because I don't really even watch movie trailers for stuff I'm interested. I like the surprise factor if I can help it. I think movie trailers spoil way too much. But we've been talking about this for a couple of years. It was going to be one of those instances where it was going to be one of the first families of Hollywood, a real world couple, playing a fictitious couple on screen. And the chemistry can be pretty great. Like look at Parks and Rec, where you know who I'm talking about. Guy who plays saxophone, has a coonskin cap. Him and his wife in real life played characters on the show. Their chemistry was hilarious. They could go a little bit further and do more things. They probably have the same sense of humor, and it was just a good, fun time. So why is this even worth noting? This is something that we've been talking about forever. Oh, we think a Fantastic Four movie is coming. Fantastic Four movie is coming for a lot of reasons. Fantastic Four is probably my favorite Marvel book. I've read more of those when I first got into comics than any other than maybe like the Runaways, that original run for the Runaways, all the way through the Joss Whedon run. I love the Runaways. That's also one of my favorite books. But yeah, this one was just a lot of fun. I love the exploration. I love the adventure. And that's the aspect that we would need to bring back for this to be an actual viable film. The whole point about the Fantastic Four is, yeah, they have these powers and yeah, they could be considered dangerous. But because they had the capabilities they had, they actually got to explore locations, places, things in space, things at other planets, other dimensions that the average team couldn't explore. So they were on the move. They went as a family unit. They got to meet royal princesses who had blue skin. They got to hang with the Inhumans. They had such a fun story dynamic that the previous films never really wanted to portray. They used the Ultimates Fantastic Four story beats to kind of make the last movie, but they took all of the levity, all the joy, all the lightness out of it. They tried to make it this dark, torturous, like, oh, if only like the government will let me do my science experiment. Like, it didn't fit. So, why am I bringing this up? Okay, so I'm going to refresh one more time because Comey Wiki is down for maintenance. It's still down. Okay, so I'm just going to talk. Sue Storm. I've been saying this forever. She is basically at list price. You can get her for about $49, $48. I haven't seen her go below $48, but she's right there. That's the first Invisible Woman full figured figurine. You can get the Invisible Woman first edition for about $50 to $55 right now as well, about the same price. That's over list price but she's for a mighty. But I did see her climb up to $80 during the last pump. You can get Mr. Fantastic for about $44 right now. I did see him climb up to about 70 something during the pump. But now he's back down to 40. So in my head, I'm like, okay, if I don't get this drop today, should I just buy an Invisible Woman and another Mr. Fantastic? Because, they always say buy the rumors, sell the news. And that basically means that when stuff is rumored, there's not much radar, not much attention on it. So if you buy in super, super early, kind of how a lot of us did with the Omi Token, I didn't buy in that early, but I bought it early enough to at least be like, I'm playing the game. I'm in there. So it's cheap. It's under a cent. But once it becomes mainstream news, the price goes up. It'll probably be 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent. And now you're not going to get as much return. And if you had bought it a year ago, it was even less than like half a cent. It was like a tenth of a cent. And the people that bought in then have already seen massive amounts of return. But it's just kind of about being patient a little bit. So when I keep hearing all this talk and seeing pictures of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, are they going to be the new Fantastic Four? When there is a trailer, people are going to be like, when the movie comes out and if it's good, Sue Storm is going to be someone's favorite character. Reed Richards, I know, is going to be someone's favorite character because they would be casting John Krasinski. And seeing him go from Jim Halpert to Jack, what's that guy's name? To Some of All Fears, Jack Ryan. From him going from that character to Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan is basically Reed Richards who works for the CIA. I mean, Reed Richards, I don't think was ever really military. He's been more scientist. But Jack Ryan is basically like a hybrid between, Jack Ryan is an analyst / spy. So I believe that he can do the hero thing and do it in a way that feels right for the character. And I really, really hope they get the special effects right because there's so much cool stuff that you can really do with the Fantastic Four. They go on some great adventures. Also, their bad guy of Doom, he is probably the most popular bad guy in the MCU before the Thanos movies, and he's now probably still the most popular in the comic books. It is because I don't want to bite anybody else's like sayings, but he's an anti-hero. Him and Magneto, people like anti-heroes because it's like they do what they think is going to be right. So it's like their heart's in the right place, but they go about it in a totally psychopathic way. So it's like you're doing things for the greater good, but you're also like the ends justifying the means makes you very questionable. And that's why people like him, because they can kind of relate to an anti-hero. And sometimes all of us are like, sometimes I don't want to follow the rules and I just want to go for it. Not quite to the extreme way for Dr. Doom, but sometimes he'll do some stuff and we're like, okay, I kind of understand. Same with Magneto. Same with, I don't know. There's a few of them where you're just like, they're not like Bullseye, who's just like an evil, guy. They can be relatable on some level. Suicide Squad, in a lot of ways, they tried to make like a group of anti-heroes. So let's kind of jump back to where we started. This is the, this is the pre-drop market watch. It's about 8:29. My battery on my computer is low. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get an adapter so I can have the microphone, the camera, and my computer plugged in all at the same time. My poor little laptop, it can barely take the strain. So when I boost the channel up a little bit more, I'm definitely going to have to upgrade, get a whole new machine because my laptop can't barely handle it. It can't even handle my edits, really, photos or intense video. One of my cameras shoots in 4K and I don't even bother trying to open it on this computer. I'm just going to wait before I start shooting in 4K to do stuff like that. But yeah, there's so much good stuff that's potentially happening. So are you guys getting prepared for the drop happening today? I'm wishing everybody luck. I hope you guys know what you're wanting to do, but don't go in blindly. Get a plan, make a strategy. NFA, I don't give financial advice. Make sure you research because information is speed. The more that you know, the less time you're spending making decisions. You should be watching everybody's videos. You should be reading as much information as possible and then coming to the conclusion that makes the most sense to you. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to go after some of these lower things that no one's really looking at, so that I can get the money to go after the big thing that everyone's looking at, because I'm thinking stuff's about to pop. The vaults are coming. They just announced earlier, or maybe someone, they didn't announce, someone mentioned that the conversion to Immutable X layer 2 has finally happened. So we're in a really good space right now. And after this squeeze, which people are saying is probably going to go to the end of the month now, after this gem squeeze happens, there's probably going to be a pump. But I'm thinking, because they did say, they did say, hold on before my computer dies, because I want to see if I can get to their replies really, really quick, because this is huge. I think that if I click tweets and replies, it's going to ask me to log in. There it is. Okay. Definitely a rumor. We don't have... Oh, you guys can't even see. Hold on. There we go. Definitely a rumor. We don't have the P word. Don't forget, everybody is speculating that Pokemon is coming out on February 27th, because that is Pokemon Day. There's been a lot of talks about GameStop getting their own NFT platform as well. They're working with Immutable X. So people are wondering, is GameStop going to have its own marketplace? Probably so. So I'm thinking to get in there early. But would Pokemon go with Veve? Would Pokemon go with Immutable X? Everyone's like, Pokemon is definitely coming to Veve. They're saving their money. But they said this is a rumor. We don't have the P word. We don't have the P word. They won't even say the name of the company because they don't want to cause a stir. But they don't have Pokemon. They said it here first. Now, that doesn't mean they're not in talks to get Pokemon. I'm stirring the pot, y'all. But at the same time, they probably don't have it. And the big announcement that people are thinking is coming at the end of the month, something for Black History Month. People are hoping for Miles Morales, which would be humongous. He's going to be pricey. He is the first. It'll be an FA if they drop a Miles Morales. And if it's a Mighty, it'll fit in with a Mighty line. But if it's a non-Mighty FA, it'll be like Spider-Man. Miles Morales is this generation's Spider-Man. So if you have the gems and that comes out and it's not Pokemon, that might be it. So just wanted to say that before we headed out. This is Alex Wilder. You're watching Wild with Wilder live on pre-drop market watch. It is February 9th. Get your thumbs ready. Cool your phones off. And good luck to everybody on the drop. Peace. Like, subscribe.